Ayan was the kind of person everyone admired from the outside. He had a decent job, a comfortable apartment, and friends who often reached out to him. Yet, beneath the surface, he was quietly struggling. Every morning, he woke up feeling tired and anxious, and every night, he went to bed carrying the weight of worries he couldn't share. He believed that showing weakness was a flaw, so he kept his struggles to himself. He smiled in public, laughed with colleagues, and nodded politely when friends invited him out, but inside, he felt isolated and alone. The world seemed heavy, and he carried it all silently, convinced that no one could truly understand. At work, deadlines and responsibilities piled up faster than he could manage. He made small mistakes, missed emails, and forgot to reply to messages, all because his mind was clouded with stress and self-doubt. He began doubting his abilities and feared that admitting his struggles would make him seem incapable. Sarah, a kind coworker who had noticed his behavior, often tried to check in, but Ayan brushed off her concern with polite smiles and vague excuses. Even at home, calls from his parents went unanswered, and texts from friends remained unread. The silence around him felt comforting yet suffocating. He thought handling problems alone was the only way to be strong, but each day, the burden grew heavier. His loneliness started to show in small, almost invisible ways. He skipped meals, stayed up late working, and avoided social events he used to enjoy. Simple tasks felt like mountains, and he carried a constant sense of dread that no one could lift. When he made a mistake at work during an important presentation, his fear of judgment intensified. He replayed the scene in his mind, imagining what everyone must think of him. The audience is drawn into these moments through emotional storytelling, feeling the tension, fear, and isolation as if they were their own. Short, simple sentences make it easy to follow, while vivid examples, like Ayan standing alone in his room staring at the ceiling, trigger empathy. The story style is calm but emotional, allowing viewers to connect deeply with Ayan's inner world. The main theme is already clear: struggling in silence only increases pain, and seeking help is not weakness but courage. Conflict builds naturally as Ayan's internal battle worsens. He is trapped in a cycle of stress, shame, and self-imposed isolation. Each missed opportunity to reach out, each ignored call, and each sleepless night heightens the tension. Viewers feel concern, sadness, and anticipation, which primes them for the eventual transformation in the next section. By focusing on relatable experiences, stress at work, anxiety over small mistakes, and fear of judgment, the narrative speaks directly to students, young professionals, and anyone who has ever felt alone. Emotional hooks are layered into everyday situations so the audience can reflect on their own lives. The motivational undercurrent is subtle but effective. As they watch Ayan struggle, they begin to understand that staying silent may seem safe, but it isolates people from the support that could change everything. This section ends leaving the audience in suspense, wondering if Ayan will ever find the courage to speak, making them emotionally invested and ready for the story's turning point. After weeks of carrying his burdens alone, Ayan finally found the courage to speak. It started with a simple conversation with Sarah, the coworker who had always noticed his quiet struggle. At first, he hesitated, unsure if he could trust anyone with the depth of his feelings. His voice shook, and he worried he would be judged or misunderstood. But Sarah listened patiently, nodding and offering reassurance without judgment. For the first time in months, Ayan felt a sense of relief simply by sharing what had been weighing on him. He realized that admitting he needed help was not a sign of weakness, but a first step toward healing. As the story unfolds, Ayan begins to open up more frequently, not just to Sarah but also to his parents. He tells them about the stress, anxiety, and self-doubt that had haunted him for so long. The relief is palpable. Viewers can sense the tension lifting from his shoulders. Emotional impact is heightened by scenes of genuine connection, a text from his mother that reads, "We're here for you," a conversation with a friend that ends in laughter, and Sarah gently encouraging him to seek professional guidance. These moments illustrate that support often exists, waiting for someone to ask, and that silence only hides it. Through this transformation, Ayan also begins to take practical steps to improve his mental health. He starts small, with short walks, mindfulness exercises, and time set aside to reflect without judgment. He gradually returns to social interactions, feeling less burdened and more confident. His performance at work improves, not because the pressure disappears, but because he learns to handle it with guidance and support. This logical progression from despair to recovery keeps the storytelling clear and easy to follow for ESL learners. Short sentences and concrete examples make the journey understandable while keeping emotional resonance high. The story's motivational power grows as Ayan's experiences demonstrate that anyone can overcome isolation and stress with support. Viewers witness his fear transform into hope, his self-doubt into courage, and his silence into connection. These transformations inspire the audience to consider their own lives, who they might reach out to, what feelings they've been keeping inside, and how small steps toward openness can create meaningful change. The narrative emphasizes that seeking help is not just about relief, it is a courageous act that can change relationships, work performance, and overall well-being. By the end of the story, Ayan fully understands the lesson that struggling alone is unnecessary and counterproductive. He smiles genuinely, reconnects with friends, and embraces challenges with newfound confidence. The moral is simple and clear: asking for help is a form of strength, not weakness. The audience leaves with a sense of hope and motivation, ready to reflect on their own lives and take positive action. Emotional impact is strong in this resolution, with relief, connection, and joy replacing isolation, anxiety, and fear. The narrative closes on a hopeful, inspiring note, leaving viewers with a message that resonates long after the story ends. Through relatable experiences, clear storytelling, and emotional hooks, this section completes the journey from conflict to resolution. The combination of simplicity, empathy, and motivational insight ensures that the audience not only understands the story but feels compelled to act, making it a powerful and memorable English motivational story.